What is up, Cahir Club, and welcome back to another CahirLIVE live stream. How goes it? I hope everybody's had a great start to their week. It is Monday. Boo. Boo. But always round, I hope that it has been a better Monday than most Mondays might be. But yeah, today we are... Wait, no, hello Brugger, how goes it? I hope you've been well. But, today we are doing some more shiny hunting. Of course, we are about 1,500 encounters into our shiny Regice hunt, and that will be continuing today, which will be interesting. Yes, it's been a long hunt, but I guess it's not helped by the fact that it's been one spread out. Because of course, I started this back when I was orange, a long time ago at this point. Because I've not been orange since like September, yonks ago, basically. But yeah, let's hop right into it, I think. No need to dawdle, as they say. I need to get things up. But yeah, looks like this Friday stream will be another raid day because of the Samura raid. Anyway. Yeah, okay, that was a quick. It's already done. The update is already over. The update was a nice, speedy update. Not any updates to worry about. It is always painful when it's like, update time. And then you have to wait like 10 minutes. But no, that is not what's going on today, fortunately. A nice quick update, if I do say so myself. Alright, let's hop into it. Let's leap on in to a lovely little shiny hunt for a Regice. As everybody knows, the best of the Regi shinies. The tier list, of course, being Regice, Registeel, Regirock. That's the wrong tier list. The joke's that's a really bad tier list. You're ill. Oh no, that is not fun. Hopefully you start feeling better soon. Being ill is never an enjoyable event. Trying to figure out when the last time I was ill. Gonna be honest, it might have been like a year ago-ish when I contracted coronavirus. I'll never get over that. So like, I quit my job. You're 38 degrees. Oh shit, that is not fun at all. But yeah, I quit my job. On the last day of the contract, was when I left my job. And that last day was, the end of February. I think it was, exactly the end of February. 28th. And the next day I get downstairs and my dad's like, Cahir. And then he shows me a positive COVID test. So we spend the next, 4 days dawdling around each other, to make sure he doesn't give it to me. And, over the weekend, I ended up getting this really sore throat. I was really hoarse. I don't know if anybody who was there at that time is in stream at the moment. But I just had a really hoarse throat that weekend. But I still streamed. I was still fine during it, because I was still fine in myself. It's just I had a really hoarse throat. So I do a test on the Monday, and boom, coronavirus. So apparently I had coronavirus, but I didn't know until I not had coronavirus. And it's just interesting because my dad got hit by it so harder. Very different responses. But even then, my dad didn't get hit that hard. Hello, Clash Royale. How goes it? I hope your week's been going well. I hope it's gotten off to a good start. But yeah, I think that was just straight up the last time I was ill. Which is kind of whack. I don't know, I always remember, Okay, no, it was just a long gap between music. I always remember, once my dad looked me in the eye and was like, Cahir, if you don't want to get ill, you just have to not want to get ill. You just have to decide not to get ill. Whenever I'm getting ill, I'm like, I'm not gonna get ill. And then I never end up ill. That's what he told me. Have I seen the meme you posted? I have not. I have not been able to check Discord much today, unfortunately. I've been busy with other things. But yeah, I don't know, placebo like that is interesting. Because, I remember once someone told me when I was younger, one of my classmates in secondary school told me if you said cucumber before you sneezed, you didn't. You would... Oh, I said a bad word replying to that coronavirus thing. How did you feel after... Oh my god. I hate this censorship thing. How did I feel after? I felt fine after. I didn't get long COVID or anything. Again, like, I just kind of had that sore throat, and that was more or less, like, the most of my affection. Honestly, I feel like it was probably because I was vaccinated. It wouldn't surprise me if that was just straight up why, because, like, my body was already equipped to, like, fight it, and that's why my dad didn't have that hard a time with it either. Because of, you know, the fact that my body had been introduced to the virus at previous points. So it never actually ended up hitting that hard. Yeah, no, definitely takes the edge off. But yeah, with like placebo. Also, hi, hello Rob, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. But yeah, placebo. Yeah, once someone, like it was like year 7, someone told me if you said cucumber before you sneezed, you just didn't sneeze. And like, that worked for me. But then like one day someone was like, yeah, that's bullshit. And I was like, is it? And then it stopped working. So like, maybe my dad wasn't entirely wrong on that, and you can brute force yourself into like, your body's immune system doing better. And then there's the more recent one. It probably is placebo, but it's like a very effective piece of placebo. Of like, if you've got hiccups, basically like the source of hiccups are like a spasming of the diaphragm, I think. But like it's basically like a leftover thing from like when we were swimming in the water, or at least that's what the person said. This might just be complete shit talk, not real at all. But, basically they said if you like, think to yourself or tell someone who's hiccuping, stop that, you're not a fish, you'll stop hiccuping. And I'm guessing there's probably a bit of placebo in that, but I think it's also just, like, straight up shock factor often stops you from hiccuping. Like, if you tell someone to hiccup in your ear, they won't. They can't hiccup in your ear. But yeah, my Monday has been pretty solid. I've been planning a D&D character for my friend's campaign, because I ended up changing D&D character last minute. The Cuter, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's been going well. You don't think you lack brain cells? I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going on. You joined and heard something about thinking. I was talking about placebo, and how back in year 7, someone told me if you said cucumber before you sneezed, you wouldn't sneeze. And, that worked. Well, it worked until I was told it didn't, and then it stopped working. I just find it interesting. But ye... Right. On with the hunt. I think, yeah, odds are like 1 in 4k. Even if I had the shiny charm, I don't think it would reduce Regice. I think it's only eggs. You doubt it, but it might be worth a try. The only method you've found to stop hiccups is being sick, because throwing up flexes those muscles in the diaphragm. I don't know, I've done it, and it's worked. And I've heard other people doing it, and it's worked. It's a distraction from the action, not really a placebo. Oh, that's also a fair point. I don't know, like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, conflicting information about these things, though, which does make me wonder if it's, like, active difference between people, or just, like, people think things work differently, so it works differently, if that makes sense. But I ain't no biologist. And if you are, do let me know, and I will. Yeah. Life is all an illusion. I wouldn't go that far. Pretty sure it's not an illusion. Because if it was an illusion, then why is my cat so soft? Boom. Checkmate. Alright. She didn't, like, I made my bed yesterday, and she didn't sulk for as long as normal. She normally gets the hump with me when I, like, do my bed. But, She did not. She did not. She very quickly just started sleeping on it again. She did for a bit, though. Like, during the whole morning, she kept on coming up to me and screeching at me. It's like, Cahir, why have you done this? What is wrong with you? All a part of the illusion? No, there's no way an illusion could be that soft. I've seen my fair share of illusions, just never that soft. Scientifically impossible to be that soft. Although maybe part of her lack of sulking was because she wasn't on the bed when I made it, because I did it immediately after I woke up, instead of, like, after breakfast. So she didn't get time to settle on my pillow, as she often likes to do. In fact, she is right now. It's like her place. Her spot on my pillow. In moving. Sleeping most of the day away. It's funny, because another thing she does is she likes me to be in my room. If I'm out of my room, that is a problem. That is not a good thing. You mean you've hallucinated after food poisoning once? So that's probably the most illusion-like life gets. Exactly, yeah. Well... not counting other illusory methods. Other hallucinogens. I think my brain just reset. What if oxygen is a drug to humans, and we're addicted so we cannot live without it? I mean, that last part is true, yes. Maybe tripping balls in general, actually, yeah. I mean, like, too much oxygen is actually poisonous. Like, if you just inhale pure oxygen, that's not a good thing. You gotta make sure you're inhaling general air. Oh, ding, told you. Okay. I guess literally ODing. The O instead of over, though, stands for oxygen. True, we all know what happened to Poochie. I think I heard about that before, but I guess that is a very good example. Well, not example, but where I'm sure a lot of people found that words. Who needs them? One day, I'll be able to, like, plug my brain into the computer. And, like, my streams will just be a series of, like, images instead of me speaking. Conveying my thoughts to you via, like, abstract concepts being transmitted through the screen, rather than having to use my vocal cords. Then you will understand how much of a visionary I really am. Just got out of school. Hell yeah, Ghosts. Welcome to the stream. I hope your Monday's gotten off to a good start. I'm doing some Regice hunting today. Because as we all know, Regice has a really good shiny. It's 3 AM there? Damn. Yeah, no, clocks went back over the weekend. Here in the UK. And why close game? Basically, I'm looking for a shiny Regice. There is a 1 in 4,096 like odds of that happening, and each time I wait, okay, so let the game open. BDSP, it's slow. It's like each time I like interact with Regice and get into a new battle here, it re-rolls the chance of it being shiny. So if this was shiny, I'd then catch it. But since it's not shiny, I reset the game. And I increment my little counter up in the top right. And that's how many times I have reset the game. Because I'm looking for the shiny Regice instead of the regular Regice. Some shinies are cool, like Charizard instead of orange is black. And Lily, for example, is green instead of purple. Regice is a slightly different shade of blue. So it turns out the plant doesn't want to shine, so you're going to Usum for the time being. You've just beat the first Kahuna. You're already hunting for 2 different encounters. Ah, interesting. Are you doing like a shiny badge quest then? I love Usum shiny hunting. I hope you have fun with it. Lugia was your worst hunt? Ah, fair. How many encounters? Was that like a Heart Gold Soul Silver one, or were you doing it in a later game? My worst one was Kyurem in White 2, which took almost 13k encounters, I think. Which was a whack one. Your main Pokemon was a Bellsprout named Billy. I like that. I don't know, if I like keeping Pokemon in their base form, often. Like, doing Nuzlocks and stuff means that I often can't do that. And playing fan games and stuff often means I also need to evolve them, but I do like a good unevolved Pokemon. I like how I've used Krogunk in both of the Sinnoh games. What's a Nuzlocke? A Nuzlocke is a Pokemon run in which, when your Pokemon are knocked out, they are unusable. You can't use them again. If you go to the Pokemon Center and heal them, you're not allowed to. If their health drops to 0, they're considered dead. As if you were, like, doing a Fire Emblem version of Pokemon. Oh, it's a later game. You want to say X and Y? Okay, so Oraz? Because I don't think you was in X and Y. Not totally sure. You hit 7,560. Finally got it. And reset and had to go for another 4.5k? Oh, that is rough. That is fair. GG on getting it, though. That is... Oopsie. Let's hope that's not a consistent issue. the game's gonna work, right? It is! Okay. Awesome. I was a little bit worried there. For a moment, the situation came into my head that, what if the game has bricked itself and I have to restart entirely? Which would be a bad thing, mostly because I've got my shiny Mewtwo and Krogunk in this game at the moment. Well, the game's become a blur at your age. Ah, fair. No, yeah, it would have been Oraz, because, X and Y had the legendary birds in them. But I think that was it for, like, past game legendaries. Unless I'm mistaken. Because, like, Oraz was the big... Look at all the legendaries one. Because Oraz was, like, the first game to properly have all, like, past game legendaries available in it. Which, I'm not really sure how much I like as a recurring feature. Like, I wouldn't mind if at this point we didn't get some legendary catch-a-thon. Yeah, I'd rather we didn't get some legendary catch-a-thon. We don't need it. You thought, like, everything was in both XY and Oraz. No, XY was more limited in what it had. I believe it had the legendaries, like Xerneas and Yveltal. It had the legendary birds, which you could only get one of in each, like, save, because it was dependent on your starter. You could get Zygarde. And I think that's it. Rather low on legendaries. Especially considering, like, Sword and Shield having all of them. Well, you beaten God of War 2018 yesterday, now you're moving on, trying to finish Kingdom Hearts as you've never done it. Ah, understandable, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I've got... Yeah, I've got God of War 2018. But I've not actually played it yet, because... I've just not got around to it. The issue is like, the Switch is the only console that I've home console, I've consistently played. And I don't know what it is, but I just find it easier to play handhelds. So because the Switch was a handheld as well, I found it easier to play. I think it's just because, like, I can play them anywhere. Consoles feel like... What's it called? Consoles feel like a commitment to turn on. You swear you found me off Twitter, but you wasn't following? Huh. I mean, I don't really do much on Twitter, so I don't blame you for that either. I'm always like, I should do more on Twitter. And then I don't. My, like, active apps are YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Although I didn't post on TikTok today, because I just skipped the TikTok bit. And posted my short directly to... No brains. Yeah, I posted my short directly from my computer to YouTube, which means I don't have a song on it today. But, bluntly, like, all of my TikToks, all of my, like, vertical content has been, like, posted through TikTok recently, and apparently that doesn't do well for the analytics of other apps. So... I'm trying to do not TikTok and see how it goes today. Listen, you post random gifs and horrible jokes. I mean, that's fair. Still, like, more content to follow for. I, like, retweet things sometimes. The issue is I'm just not good at... What's it called? I don't know what it is about, like, posting on social media, but... The music stops and so did my train of thought. Like, social media, a lot of people manage to use it as, like, their brain stream, basically. They just, like, constantly, like, update it on, like, what's going on. I don't get how that happens. Because, like, if something happens, I'm like, is this worth even posting, you know? Like, even back when I had, like, personal stuff. The most active I've been on social media is streaming, obviously. And then short posting as an extension of that. And when I first got into shiny hunting in Sun and Moon, I decided to post all of my shinies. And, like, keep it updated on the new shinies I caught. I just saw you did Pokemon Ranger with a mouse. Are your wrists okay? No, yeah, the wrists are fine. It was more... The mouse isn't as accurate as a styler. That was where the struggle came from. It's a lot less accurate. And trying to... Like, especially in, like, the original, you have to do all the loops. And Pokemon like Entei and Charizard just, like, make, like, flame pillars. Yeah, Entei and Charizard's, like, flame pillars. They're really annoying to get around. I'll be honest, I love the Ranger games, and I'm sad we'll likely never get another one. It's the same, honestly. The Ranger series is such a good one. It's such a cool concept as well. And I like that it basically completely changed what it meant to be a Pokemon Ranger in the main series as well. Like, originally they were, like, park rangers, and often had Pokemon to reflect that. But, like, nowadays they just have anything. Nowadays you see a Pokemon Ranger and they might, like, bust out a starter or a pseudo-legendary. They're, like, a step lower than Ace Trainers. I hope we do get another one, but the issue is Pokemon Ranger was very much a game built for the DS. Like, it'd be interesting to see how they do it with, like, the Switch and motion controls. Like, they could do it with the Switch and motion controls. But should they? In a couple of days, they, reference their Let It Rip thing goes. Oh, yeah, yeah. They're stylers. Did Beyblade ever collaborate with that? With Pokemon with that? Because I think that would be, that would have been a profitable collaboration if they did. You think it would likely be a mobile game, if anything? I mean, yeah, I guess that is the Pokemon Company's ethos. If it's a spin-off, it's a mobile game. I don't know. I feel like at this point... what's it called? I feel like at this point... the Pokemon Company need to realize that mobile gaming isn't, like, as much of a market? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the word to use. I feel like, especially, like, mainstream gamers don't use mobile games as much. And their core audience, the core Pokemon audience, will still buy spin-offs if they're, like, on main console. There's still, like, a profit incentive there. Like, they can keep up their Cafe Mix, their Pokemon Go's and whatnot, Masters, but... and Unite. But, like, they should be more willing to make, like, console spin-offs. Hello, Shadow Gaming and Song Wong, how goes it? Enjoying your Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Well, it's BDSP today. I just got it flagged as Scarlet and Violet because they're the more recent games. And I feel like the Pokemon BDSP community aren't really... So I was late, I was sick? No worries, dude, there's no such thing as being late. I'm gonna say it, Nintendo needs to update game or Pokemon needs to move elsewhere. Wait, what? Huh? Why are you playing BDSP? Because I'm shiny hunting Regice. Because I want a shiny Regice. Because Regice is cool. The consoles can't handle the games anymore. I don't think Scarlet and Violet is a console issue. At all. So, the Ocean of Paldea is multiple times the size of Paldea, to the point that Paldea is like a little speck on the map if you look at the whole ocean. This ocean is constantly rendered. It's a badly optimized game, is the issue. I don't think a better console would do anything but make people complain more about the graphics. You found an FPS game that you actually like? Yo! That's hype. I do not like FPS games myself either. I don't know, I'm a staunch Scarlet Violet defender, and I'm annoyed about the fact that they came out in the state they did. Because... what's it called? Because I love them as games. They're some of the best Pokemon games that have been released. Like, if they hadn't come just after Legends Arceus, like, I would say that they're revolutionary. The issue is that they came out the same year as Legends Arceus. But they needed more time. Fundamentally, they either needed a better, like, production pipeline or more time. And that's their issue. I don't think it's a Switch thing. Like, the world's smaller than Breath of the Wild. The graphics of the game are actively lower quality than Breath of the Wild, except, like, Pokemon models, which go low poly the moment you're, like, 5 foot away. So. You can't chat till you're level 2? Ah, fair. Best of luck getting there. Probably a smart thing to have. Stop spammers. Don't want people going and advertising. Never fun, that. But yeah. Honestly, my hot take is... I think Nintendo... making the Switch is one of the bigger issues for the Pokemon was one of the bigger issues for the Pokemon Company, because it was clear that the Pokemon Company aren't equipped to make console games at this point. If we look at their track record, because we've got two different ends of the spectrum: Sword and Shield, finished games with low content, and Scarlet that like actually look good. And then Scarlet and Violet, unfinished games with high content. They'll look good up close. But yeah. Regice. No shiny. On we go. Alright. Tom Scott, ooh. You have the newest Switch, and you'll be honest, you only ran into frame rate issues, which you had on Sword, Arceus, and Scarlet and Violet. Again, I think that's more of the Pokemon game optimate. I think that's more of the game's fault than like a Switch issue. Like, better hardware could feasibly fix it, but I think it's more about the optimization of Pokemon games. Because, for example, in Sun and Moon, in Pokemon Sun and Moon, there were like different expressions for characters and stuff. I'm sure you might recognize the one of Lily, where she had like the little dot eyes and the surprised face. like, I can't remember. There was a point when she did it on like the port when you first arrive, and every Lily model's every single Lily expression, like character expression, is a different model. Those aren't like faceplates they swap off. Those are different models. Scarlet Violet, do Scarlet Violet have that much content? Maybe compared to some of the games. But you'd say that was also depleted by the open world apart from, the Pokemon. There wasn't that much to do. I mean, that's a fair point, but I more meant, like, just a large world of content to explore. I guess the raids are a good thing. You'd say the open world was still kind of dead. I don't know, I think it was, like, a decent open world game. There could be more, but... especially as, like, their first outing on clearly, like, a coronavirus development cycle. Clearly, because it was developed during coronavirus. Like, it's still, like, a pretty solid game. Hello, Felix, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. You got your Nidoking and it destroyed the 3rd gym? Yeah, that is, unsurprising. Nidoking's a beast. Trying to get your, DS Lite. Your Game Boy did not save correctly. Oh no. Hopefully it is a, console issue and not a battery issue or some shit like that. As in a game battery. I keep on doing that. Console issue. Okay, cool. I don't know. I'm aware that, like, the save battery of, like, Game Boy games could run out, and that just doesn't sound fun. It's kind of scary, you know? That you could lose everything like that. Although I guess you could always. If you, like, drop a DS card down the toilet, that's it gone forever as well. Well, I guess DS in the toilet is probably worse than phone. Is it? I don't know. I don't take my phone to the toilet. I just don't think that's where the phone belongs. Alright. You at least have a couple of years left. Oh, okay, cool. That's why you like the 3DS having the digital versions. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, I guess it might be too late. I don't know, I was contemplating getting Crystal on my 3DS. I have Yellow, but I don't have Crystal, or like any Gen 2 ones. But, you think it just closed? Ah, yeah. I don't know, I know it's today, but I'm not sure if it, like, when today. On the bright side, Pokemon Bank for free. I'm down for that. Because, like, as long as I, like, then filter all of my Pokemon out with Home, I can transfer all of my Pokemon up for free, basically. I think transferring them up's a free feature. I think the part that costs money is, like, having more boxes. But yeah, free bank's gonna be a fucking lifesaver for a lot of people, I'm sure. Actually allow some people to transfer Pokemon up. I wonder if maybe they were... I mean, they probably weren't waiting for that for Home. They're probably just waiting for Home. But yeah, digital versions were great. And I was really surprised when they didn't announce them, like, last month. Exactly a month ago at this point, in the Pokemon Presents. Because I was so sure that they were going to be like, oh wow, look guys, it's red and blue and yellow again. You want to buy them again? And then maybe they'd also release, like, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald on, like, the, deluxe, online pass. Now going to destroy the gym again? Hell yeah, good luck. But yeah, As long as I'm right about home, I might be able to transfer some of my good shinies up. Like my shiny Dialga, which will be nice to have in Legends. Well, no, it'll be nice to have in Scarlet Violet, actually, because Dialga is in Scarlet Violet. I think after this hunt, I might just jump straight into... an Arceus hunt. Because I do want that shiny Arceus. Also, you're surprised they don't port them every few years? They'd make bank. They would. They definitely would. But for whatever reason, they're just very keen on keeping them very hard to get. Which is annoying. Like, say what you will about BDSP's quality, but at least it means that newer fans can play Sinnoh for a lot cheaper than they would otherwise. Which is saying something considering Switch games are $60. What was it called? I mean, other than, like, emulation, but, like, not everybody's willing to emulate, is the thing. Have you ever lost a shiny before? A Stuffle. Also a Badoo. A Badoo in Legends Arceus, I failed to catch it and it disappeared. And then a Stuffle before I even started streaming. Where I didn't consider that its buddy had Brutal Swing, because I was doing the SOS method. And its buddy had Brutal Swing, and used it, and killed the shiny, because I got it down to 1 HP with Full Swipe. You didn't really have a problem with them? That's fair. I didn't have that big of a problem with them either. I feel like they could be, like, visually presented a bit better. But, like, overall, they're pretty solid games, I think. And I like the, more refined Elite Four and Champion that really help, like, make them hard even without the very harsh level curve that it would impose in the originals. You lost a Carnivine in Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus shinies are quite easy to lose, to be fair. I guess that's like the balancing out thing of them being easy to find, is they're also easy to lose. Wasn't there one in a Gen 1 game I was playing? As in a shiny I lost? Gen 1 shiny? Oh! No, you're right! He's right. I was doing an extreme randomizer. This one happened live on stream. I was doing an extreme randomizer, and I was speeding up grinding, and I lost a shiny Nuzleaf. It, like, appeared for a second, and it wasn't until it was dead that I realized it was shiny. There was like 5 of them because of an outbreak, and I was hiding behind the others. You only noticed it was shiny after you already selected a killing move. Oh no! There's a bug on my screen. What are you doing? There's no longer a bug on my screen. Yeah, that is painful. But yeah, it felt like they made Legends Arceus shinies easier to lose in, like, exchange for them being easier to find. I guess that's kind of maybe their ethos with Scarlet and Violet as well, in not giving them, like, an actual jingle or, like, signifier when they're on screen. It makes them easier to, like, not get, making them rarer by fact of you just missing them. So it just lives in the video capture you took. At least you got a capture. That's, like, a nice thing about the Switch. Your hamsters are chilling near each other? Hell yeah. Okay, music. That's fine. You do that. I didn't need you to continue on your own anyway. That's not what I wanted. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if I'm hunting a shiny, if I don't get it... In fact, I'm not going to say that because I'll jinx it. But I do want to get some shinies I can't actually capture in the near future. Why do you feel like there isn't going to be a shiny? Well, I hope there is. I mean, it might not come this stream at day's end. I mean, we're at 15k, yeah, we're almost at 16k, actually. 16k? Yeah, no, nice counting, Cahir. 1.6k. And hopefully I can get it soon, but... As I said at the beginning of the stream, odds are 1 in 4,096, so... If it ends up taking a bit longer, then it ends up taking a bit longer. I mean, at day's end, like, have you ever rolled a dice? I don't know if you guys have played D&D, but it's not like you get a D20 in 20 rolls. It's like rolling a 4,000-sided dice, I always picture it. And if you get a nat 20, that's when you're getting a shiny. Right. 4 times the shiny rate? No, 4,000. So I'm not at the shiny rate yet. Anyways, you're gonna take your after-school nap? Understandable, have a good nap. You just started first campaign? Hell yeah! I'm hopefully gonna be doing a campaign with my mates soon again. We've not played in almost a year, but... I hope you're having fun with it. I bloody love D&D. It's such a fun game. I don't know, it's nice because, like, it's someone telling a story that your characters inhabit. You'll be honest, you already want a second campaign. That's fair, I don't know, I've run multiple campaigns at once. No, I've not run multiple campaigns at once. I've been in multiple campaigns at once. I was running one of them, and I was a player in another one. And... it's fun at first, but eventually you start wanting your free time back. But I get the, I get the one. Fully hooked, hell yeah. Yeah, Rob was also starting his first campaign. Recently. You only have been in, one at a time. And your dad is making his own D&D book. Oh, that's cool. As in he's making, like an adventure? Like a pre-made adventure? Your life is all free time, so you doubt you'd have that issue. I think mine was too, honestly. It was, was it? Maybe? Trying to remember the time frame. Because... I started my first proper campaign. Yeah, I started my first wait, no, that was actually my second. Because I'd, like, dipped in D&D before. One of the funny story from my first campaign is my character technically died. Because we were over a pit, and my crush, soon-to-be girlfriend... later to be ex, pushed me down it because I made a bad joke. And I should have died from that fall. But I didn't die from that fall. Because the TM didn't want me to die from the fall on the first session. From basically player-on-player violence. Reasonable. I mean, yeah, it was probably a bad joke. Yeah, then we did, then I did a campaign with another friend group. Then I wanted to join a D&D club in college, but the lecturer decided, since I was the only one who wanted to be, like... No, there were a decent amount of people who wanted to be in the club, but since, like, I was, like, one of the people who wanted the club, I was the DM. I wasn't ready to DM, but I was the DM. I don't know, I didn't really understand that one-shots were a thing at the time, and I wish I did, because I would have made it so, like, okay, we'll run one-shots, like, instead of having to do a full campaign in basically 3-hour session times. Because we did not get far into the campaign. But yeah. You're in Australia, and you're playing with Americans, so waking up 5:30 AM to play, bloody hell. That is very early. Yeah, I had a friend who, played D&D with Americans and ended up being, like, up really late instead of waking up early. I would cope interestingly with that. I mean, especially with the clock changes recently, I'd be up at 5:30 AM. I wouldn't be asleep by then. I need to fix my sleeping cycle. I forget how loud this song is. But I keep forgetting to take it off my playlist. Maybe I should set like a reminder or something to do the playlist updates I want to. Oh, what was your first shiny? Sorry, I saw that, but like... So I was in the middle of saying something I forgot to respond. But yeah, my first shiny was a Bunnelby. I was shiny hunting for a shiny Cyndaquil. My second shiny was a Latias, and I was shiny hunting for a Froakie. I had weird luck. I don't know, I guess part of me hopes that Latias does end up getting added to these games, because I'd want it in this game. So I do like my shiny Latias, it's cool. It's a cool one. Alright. I'm gonna take a drink quickly. You guys make sure you're all staying hydrated as well. Alright. Although that bottle is very awkward to clean at times. Like the gunk issue from last week. It's good to have, because it ends up lasting me, like, the whole evening. Like, I'm pretty good at keeping myself hydrated as is. I generally only drink soda with, like, dinner. Meaning I'm on, like, actual water and squash the rest of the time. And, like, if my water's empty, I'll pretty quickly go and get a refill. But I think I still drink the most on my streaming days when I've actually got that bottle with me. Which is probably good, because the opposite is I always forget to drink. I know a lot of people do, and that's why they have the hydrate redeem, but I'm good at hydrating myself. On Twitch, I wouldn't have even, like, I didn't even need that redeem. The gunk issue. The gunk issue. Indeed. Indeed, Kite. Kite was there when I bought this thing, actually. It's very useful. Alright. You were? Yeah! It was at Mankind. The song is very loud. I didn't want it anymore. I couldn't hear myself think. I almost like specified the location of the Mankind. It's also where I got my phone clamp from. Which I guess probably isn't what you'd associate Mankind with. But it's good for that stuff. Your first session, your DM was rolling for encounters. Nothing major happened until the end due to your character not really getting involved unless he had to. Except one little thing, you got cursed. Oh no, that is not fun. Or I guess it could be fun. Depends how it happens. I don't know, one thing I always vividly remember from a campaign is, what's it called? My brain crashing. What's your favorite Pokemon type? Grass. Need help evolving Finizen? I mean, I'm on BDSP at the moment, but if anyone else in chat is willing to help, then... But yeah, campaign thing. Like... Basically, the DM made his own... What's it called? The DM made his own Wild Surge table for a sorcerer, which my friend played in a one-shot. But he liked the table so much, he gave us a staff that could, like, summon it at any point. And, like, roll in it at any point. My friend did it, and got a card from the deck of many things, which, if you guys know about it, obviously isn't a good thing. Because you can get cards that give you infinite riches, or that just kill you on the spot. But he got a card that gave him a house infested with monsters. But he actively worked that into the plot, which was really cool. Like, he actually made it a proper plot point instead of just, like, a random thing. And I think that was always a fun thing. The curse you asked, whatever you said next would come true. Your character doesn't talk. You said like 30 words over 2 to 5 hours. What did you say? You gave a dwarf 5 gold pieces. This will help with the costs. Is it like a kind of monkey's paw kind of will come true? Or... It's an interesting thing, though. Is that like a thing built into your character? Rather than a curse placed on them outside of it? If you try find a Pokemon Discord server on something like discord.me, yeah, if you try to find a Pokemon Discord server on a site like that, you might be able to find someone who will help you. I find that can be a pretty useful place to look. That's purely a one-time thing due to the chains. Ah, fair. Probably a good thing. Because, like, lucky your character doesn't talk much, because that would be a... That would be a nightmare. If it was, like, a talkative character. I feel like a lot of players would just abuse that. Alright. Your phone will let you join Discord? Ah, that's not fun. I mean, yeah, best of luck, dude. Alright. Boom, 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 boom. I was watching the new Tom Scott video today. I almost reset too soon. I was watching the new Tom Scott video today. I'm not sure if you guys watch Tom Scott, but Tom Scott is genuinely one of my favorite YouTubers. And like, he basically just videos on things he finds interesting. Like, he did a video on, like, these robot... I think it's a robot elephant in France that, like, you can ride. Like, people can, like, ride a couple of times a day. It's like a cool little attraction. Why did my brain do that? No, it's fine. Yeah, stuff like that. I think once he did, like, balloons that you can use to fly, turn yourself into a blimp, basically. And today he did a video on, like, a company in Japan that makes a bike and car storing things, where you, like, put your bike in the slot, or drive your car into, like, the mechanism, get out, and then it'll park your car for you. And it's just fascinating, because, like, he always manages to get these, like, interviews and stuff. Like, with the actual people, to shine more of a light on these places. Like, I don't know, it's nice to see him treat like these things so seriously, and have the people treat him seriously in return. Because I feel like YouTuber is definitely a moniker that some people tend to look down on. So it's cool to, like, actually see him do all these things, show it off, and clearly have, like, he's allowed to go into the car parking mechanism, which is, like, underground, because he's, like, gone through official means to talk with these people. It just impresses me. Like, how he manages to do it. But then again, he's clearly got, like, a very specific set of skills that I do not have. It was pure luck, but it happened so many times over the session. Avoided almost all the encounters. Ah, that is very useful. Current parts you have, though, makes your character get involved. Yeah, no, that's always good. I don't know, that's my thing, like, whenever I'm playing D&D is Dry Lake. I always hate it when my character gets too much of the limelight, and I always try to give players, like, enough of the limelight. I don't want anybody to feel like they're a side character, or that, like, my character's the main character. I don't like that. Alright. What's better, Charizard or Arcanine? I mean, it's Pokemon Fire Red. I think you should use whichever one you want to. Because, like, even at Day's End, even if you end up choosing the weaker one, which I don't really think there is between those two, it'll just make it more of a challenge for you, which will be more enjoyable, I'd say. Your character wants to be the side character, that's fair. Those characters are always fun. Alright. Although I say that, like, any character can't be fun. I feel like as long as the person making it is conscious enough about making a character that gels nicely with teams and such. Gels nicely with teams and isn't gonna, like, murder hobo their way through a campaign. Any like, kind of character can be good. What does Scary Face do? It lowers your speed by 2 stages. Which I think means it's cut in half? If I'm not mistaken? I might be mistaken, but I think it cuts your speed in half. But yeah, in that campaign I was talking about, he was the one who received the house, actually. My friend played an Aarakocra, which is like a bird person, who's basically like an emissary of fear. And was very morally ambiguous. But, and, like, obviously if, like, it was played by the wrong kind of person, I feel like that could be quite a fumble of a character, but it was just, he was genuinely one of, like, the best characters of the campaign. I say that like there weren't 4 of us who never even went through a second character, but easily in the top 4. Wait, a better way to phrase it. Definitely one of the best player characters I've played alongside. No, I won't jab at Kai's characters. His characters were fine. Assuming he's still here. But yeah. You're an Asimir ranger who uses a short sword and a hand crossbow. Hell yeah. I think I might go ranger for my next campaign. But I'll do some dwelling on it. That was a jab, you prick. That's why I quit. I'm sorry, Kai. I love you. Alright. You didn't leave? Don't worry, Brugger. I mean, even if you did have to leave, that would be fine. I am not entitled to your time. What's better, Metal Claw or Aerial Ace? Aerial Ace doesn't miss. So it can be good for, like, when your opponent starts double teaming or minimizing. So I'd say Aerial Ace is always solid to have around. And I'm assuming that your Charmeleon's learning it, which means that it... Wait, no, is it? Is it your Charmeleon learning it? Aerial Ace, because it can save you in a game of poker. Yeah, when Charmeleon evolves, it will be Stab, so... Definitely better than Metal Claw. Because that is a nice 90 damage. Alright. Brainworms. Brainworms. You know how it is. It's like there's a little guy in my brain, and he's rotating the cogwheel to keep my brain working. But he takes often breaks. He's very quick to take breaks. It's funny because, like, I often, like, emote with my hands a lot. I wonder if I should get a 3D model because of that. But, I was, like, kind of rotating my hand around there, and that's why I was moving like that. Yeah, maybe I should, specifically for hand tracking. Or maybe I should just train to get more emotive in the face. Wow, it's a regular Regice. I would have called it. Alright. But yeah, the Samurai raid's going to be fun this weekend. Of course, on Friday I'll be doing a raid stream for the Bog-type Samurai. Bug is an interesting type for Samurott. I wouldn't have predicted Bug. I would have predicted, like, Fighting, maybe. But I guess they didn't want to retread Cinderace ground. And have gone with Bug instead. But, Bug Samurott's going to be fun. It's going to be good to get Samurott as well. I believe this is the first time we've had 2 starters from the same gen back-to-back, right? Because so far we've had... Well, not from the same gen, but, like, from the same game. Because we had Charizard, Cinderace, Greninja, Decidueye, Samurott. And then Decidueye and Samurott are both Legends Arceus starters. What day is my next stream? It is Wednesday. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. 7:30 PM all days. Nice 4 days a week. And then Mondays are shiny hunting. Wednesdays and Saturdays are a playthrough of some kind. For example, at the moment it's Pokemon Sweet. And then Fridays are generally, like, I don't know, I try to do, like, community day thingies there. So, like, raids with viewers, Mario Kart Monday. And then sometimes... Yo, 1600. Yeah, sometimes I'll do other things, though. I played Mario a few weeks ago. Like, the original New Super Mario Bros. Why are you shiny hunting Regice? Its shiny sucks. Hey, I'll have you know, that shiny Regice is a slightly different shade of blue. That is a more pleasing shade of blue, actually. I find it funny. My cat is up. She has awoken from her infinite slumber and is now demanding I pat her on the head. As is classic. Cat behavior. It's funny because, like, if you have cats, or if you've interacted with a cat, I'm sure you know, like, they brush their heads against your hand. She does it so aggressively that it, like, pushes her upper lip up, and she aggressively rubs her tooth, like, along my hand. Which is interesting. I think I just incremented twice for one encounter, I'm gonna be real. Oopsie daisies. I just won't do it this time. You see, I say that, but then I forget, and then I do it this time anyway. Alright. It's the glands, man. They rub them whatever is theirs. No, yeah, they do. But my cat doesn't rub her glands on whatever's mine, whatever's hers. She rubs her tooth. Which isn't a gland, it's her tooth. And last time I checked, unless she is a vampire, there are no glands in her tooth. She's just stupid. Then again, there's no new news there. Funny little weirdo she is. Right now she's hopped up onto the windowsill. She can go outside, and she often does. But she really enjoys just staring out windows. Alright. I'm getting a hunch. No, it's shuffled. Oh well. But yeah. One weird trend I've been seeing recently on the TikToks and the Instagrams is people doing videos that, like, kind of get you to watch and share and comment by targeting people. Being like, if your name starts with blank, or starts with, like, this letter, then you're stinky, a criminal, going to die, like food. That stuff. Just vague shit. So, like, you send it to your friend whose name starts with that letter, like, ha, you know? Except, every single time I've seen one of those videos, they start off slowly drawing a heart, because, like, they're trying to get the view time up. And it's always J. I've never seen one of those videos where the first letter isn't J. Like, I've seen, like, a decent chunk of these videos, and I don't always watch them through, to be fair. Like, but, like, sometimes I'm like, is it going to be J again? Is this just another one where it's J? And it's J. And this isn't like an, oh, Instagram algorithm knows the first letter of my name kind of thing. The first letter of my name is C, it's Cahir. There are no J's in my name. Literally no J's in my name at all. So this isn't targeted. And if it is, it's a very badly targeted video. But I feel like it's not just targeting. I feel like... Why? What did people with names who starts with J mean? There's a J if you put it there, sir. I'm not sure if this is an innuendo, or if you just work at Starbucks. Don't lie, we all know your full name. CahirLIVE. J. Shit. Fuck. Kai, I can't believe you doxed me live like this. How could you do that to me? I have been bamboozled. And slighted. This must be revenge for every time I've wronged him. You do not work at Starbucks. You just wanted to state, if you're dumb and put it there, it belongs there. Oh, that's fair. But you haven't done that yet. So there's no J in my name. And anyway, my main point was, what did people with names who starts with J even do to deserve this spite? Because it's all of the videos. They all start with J. It's all like J. The answer's always J. For whatever reason, it's just J. Which is bizarre. Maybe J is a very common name starter? Maybe? Maybe, but... off the top of my head, I can name, like, 2 people max that I know with a name that starts with J. You know? At least 3 with A. 4 with A. It should be A. Yeah, but you only know 10 people. I'll have you know, I know at least 11 people, Kite. Maybe? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You were still off by 1, so I win. What starter did you pick in BDSP? I picked Piplup. I love Piplup. Piplup is very cool. And I also hadn't used Piplup in a proper playthrough for... Wait, no, had I? I think I had, actually. That's a lie. I just want to use Piplup again. I think that... Yeah, no, I did use that excuse to use Piplup once. But that was in a Platinum playthrough. Piplup evolves to have one of the strongest, if not the strongest type combo. And it also looks cool. It can be whatever type it wants. It slaps. And Polion is awesome. If Empoleon has 1,000,000 fans, I'm one of them. If Empoleon has 10 fans, I'm one of them. If Empoleon has 1 fan, then that is me. And if Empoleon has no fans, I am dead. Because it's cool. One of my friends, his online moniker is Platinum Penguin. And he really likes Piplup. So you'd think he'd like Piplup's Water Steel evolution. Again? Maybe I'm just spamming A too much. Anyway, but yeah, he doesn't like Empoleon. Which is why he doesn't have me beat. Because he doesn't like Empoleon. BDSP breaking for real tonight. It is. I feel like I've not experienced that many crashes in this game. But today, I have experienced multiple. Which is not that good. Alright. Yeah, I don't know why it's being so weird, because, again, it is only within the past 100 encounters that we've had 2 crashes, when we've had no crashes in the previous 15k. 1,500. I'm really bad at that, and I don't know why. Ah, that was the... Okay, that does actually affect the volume. Cool. Going through Rock Tunnel? Hell yeah, best of luck. Unfortunately, you are not playing Sweet, so it is not illuminated. Do you guys use Flash in Rock Tunnel, or do you just feel it with vibes? Do you just crawl through it with, like, intuition? You have Flash. Smart. The smart option. I don't want to waste a move slot on Flash though, so I just vibe through it, you know. I don't even play Kanto that much, which means I don't like know it like the back of my hand or anything. Echolocation, exactly. I just run through the K going ah, and I know where I am. Genius. if you could, like, learn to echolocate things. Like, do you think that's a thing you could do? Do you think that's a thing we could, like, force ourselves to evolve to do? Like, locate things through echoes? Because I think that'd be a pretty cool trait to have. There's a blind kid that can sink a basketball through a kind of echolocation. Hell yeah, that's cool, I love that. How can I learn? I want to learn to echolocate things. Like, imagine just talking and immediately knowing your surroundings. That'd be sick. You could also, like, kind of detect where other people are through, like, YouTube videos, right? You could also tell the material of something by clicking at it, apparently. Are you calling him a liar, Kite? This is, like, a much more achievable dream than, like, flying, at least. It's a bold claim, for sure. I mean, it is. Maybe. I think hearing sense does get stronger if you're blind, but I'm not sure we could achieve true echolocation. Yeah, but I don't want to be blind. I want to still be able to see. I just want to be able to echolocate, you know? Multi-skilled. But yeah, I don't know, Kite. Are you telling me someone would go on the internet and lie? Because I highly doubt that. I don't think that could happen. Sounds a bit far-fetched to me. Alright. Alright. Just scream and I'll whisper in your ear how far away something is. No blindness required. That sounds like a pretty good setup, actually. But yeah, like, feasibly, if you played, like, my stream to, like, a bat, would you be able to, like, map out my room with, like, stream audio? Or would it not work? Because, like, my mic isn't... I guess my mic's omnidirectional, which means if I click, like, here, it'll probably be as loud as if I click, like, here. If someone had a little hole in their head that, like, opened and revealed their brain when you click, then, I probably just really messed with that mechanism of theirs. But then again, what are the odds of someone like that watching my stream? But, like, doesn't echolocation rely on you making the sound and then timing how long it takes until it gets back to you? Oh, it does? I guess that makes more sense. Now that I think about it. Also, what? What do you mean? I'm sure we all know that. Yeah, no, now you've said that, that makes more sense. Because that's why it's called echolocation. Because it's the echoes. That's logical. Are you telling me I could fuck with a bat if I, like, got a soundproof box? How did you think it worked? The sound? You hear sound and you know what you see. You hear sound and you see. What level should your Pokemon be to fight the 4th gym? Just, like, make sure you're not under-leveled in comparison to the trainers and you should be fine. Doing what with the bat? Putting it in, like, a soundproof box. Like, you know, like padding that like YouTubers and streamers have to like stop echoes in their room. Like, coat a box with that and throw it in the box. Throw a bat in the box. I bet that really fuck with the bat, you know, because like you'd be like trying to locate and it'd be like, what? Am I in like open air? But it's not. You're tricking it. Oh, even better idea. You could line like a side of a cave with it, and then it's actually like a wall of like a cave. But it's not, because you've like coated it with like soundproofing. And the bat makes like a go, it's like boop. But like, because that would like absorb the sound and stop the echoes, the bat would then think that that's like an exit to the cave, and it would fly right into it. My genius is frightening. No, I should have been a scientist. I would have been a good scientist. Alright. We're at 1620 encounters after we actually encounter this encounter. And after that, I'm gonna go to the toilet. So I will be right back. But once I am back, we will continue on with the hunt and intellectual discussions about bats and echolocation. Alright. I will be right back. And we are back. Piss location. Now that would be a skill I'd pay to have. Alright. On with the hunt. I don't even know how that would work, but I think it'd be cool. Good thing that YouTube lets me see the word piss again. That one was shiny. Yeah, it was. No, I like, at this point in the stream, I'm doing that to, like, every one of them. I'm like, is this shiny? It kind of looks shiny. I think it might be a shiny, and then it's not. But I feel like this happens with most hunts with me. Like, unless the shiny is, like, an obvious, very different color, like Whalmer. By this point in the hunt, I'll just start being like, is that shiny? Like, I know it doesn't look shiny, but what if it is shiny? You can find lost keys and items by spraying and praying, oh no. When Scarlet Violet first came out, your best friend lost a shiny right at the start due to a cutscene. Would have been his first shiny, no! Oh, that is so painful. Was it like the catching tutorial, or...? Yeah, that is not fun. You later got that shiny and laughed at them. Flex. But yeah, that sounds painful. I don't know, yeah, I've seen a lot of Scarlet Violet shiny fails because, like, a shiny walks out of render. Which... I haven't had that happen to me yet. I dread the day it might. You will probably get this shiny in less than a year. Well, once we're in September time, then it will have been a year. So hopefully... Although, to be fair, I am hunting this, like, every other week. This isn't, like, a constant hunt. And I took a long break. Bye-bye, Sylazar. Sylazar is infamous for that. I've seen so many, like, on r/shiny hunting. Or just, like, them seeing a Sylazar for, like, a split second and be like, wait! And it's gone. It's a fun concept to see it, like, running around, but... Alright. Alright, do we have, like, a start date for the new anime series yet? Or is it still just April? The one thing I'm not sure that's been announced yet as well is, like, is it going to be, like, a 12 or 24 episode run? Or is it going to be, like, a constant weekly episode thing, like the last one? Because I feel like most anime, like, Pokemon was one of the last, like, constantly running anime. One of the, like, last of, like, a handful at this point. But yeah, so, like, I'm interested to see if they do, like, just start doing, like, seasonal Pokemon anime bursts. Or if they'll just do it constant again. The first shiny you lost was a shiny Charmander in Pokemon X because you made a new save file forgetting the shiny. Oh no. Oh, that's painful. By the way, before Scarlet and Violet dropped, you thought that your Sylerzar will enter a mysterious portal and return at the box art legendaries. Yeah, I was wondering if it'd be like an evolution thing or something. If it were going to be some kind of like special evolution for Sylerzar. But I guess like past and future forms make sense as well. Have you seen the theory that it's Sylerzar because A, Paradox Pokemon aren't actually from different time periods, they're just from like human imagination and will, and B, because the like leader of the expedition's partner was a Sylerzar? Because I like that theory, and I don't know, I feel like it's going to be true. Because the Pokedex entry for Screamtail says it was from 1 billion years ago. And I hate to be that guy, but Omanyte and Kabuto are from 300 million years ago. Less than a third of the time that Screamtail was meant to exist. So Pokemon have evolved from, like, Omanyte and Kabuto over time. Like, Darwinian evolution, not Pokemon evolution. Into the wide biodiversity that we have in the Pokemon world today. Also, Jigglypuff hasn't changed at all. I've seen Amoonguss used as an excuse for this as well, but apparently the person who designed the Pokeball was a Foongus fanatic. Like, in the Scarlet Pokedex entry for Foongus, it says that the guy who made the Pokeball really liked Foongus, which means that he inadvertently made Foongus a better predator. Like, because now, like, people will go up to Foongus thinking it's a Pokeball, and then get sprayed with poison and die. That guy's responsible for deaths. People have died because a guy was like, I love Foongus, and modeled the Pokeball after it. Oh, you saw that. That one. They aren't from the future or the past. Just someone wanted to see them to be real so bad. Exactly. The time machine isn't actually a time machine. I wonder if it actually leads to somewhere, though. Like, I wonder if it actually leads to, like, a place that seems to be in the past or the future, but actually isn't. And that's where AI, Shiro, and Sada are. That fungus would not stand a gunshot to the head. Why are we shooting Foongus? It's not Foongus's fault that the Pokeballs were designed after it. Dreamworld coming back from Gen 5. that would be a tie-in and a half. The Dreamworld was just part of Area Zero this entire time. I don't know, I feel like you hate the fungus Pokemon in Pachirisu. I think Foongus is cool. It's just a little guy. It's just a little dude, really. And I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm still interested to see if we learn more about Area Zero to, like... Because I feel like there's a link between the Ultimate Weapon... Still feel like there's a link between the Ultimate Weapon and Area Zero. I feel like Pokemon isn't the kind of franchise to confirm that link, though. Like, I never thought we were going to get Kalos, and honestly I was kind of on the page that, like, we might never get those answers. But I kind of hope we at least get more hints towards them, especially since the DLC is called The Secrets of Area Zero. Like, I don't know, I'm still kind of on the side that Area Zero is the crater that the Ultimate Weapon left. Because 2,000 years ago was when the Poldean Empire was formed, but the Great Pokemon War was 3,000 years ago. So why was that land uninhabited? Was it maybe because of a Great War and a super weapon launched into the center of the country, or of the region, that killed everyone in it? Because it's either that, or the ultimate weapon was made from Terra Crystals. That's my bet. One or the other. But we might never know. I'm looking forward to seeing how the DLC how the DLC pans out. I'm interested to see what lore we get. Big lore fan. Alright. Alright. I said alright twice in a row then, and then immediately was like, wait, shit, I can't say it 3 times in a row. You know how it is. You like guns? I think swords are cool. I'm a sword Chad. Who doesn't love a good sword? You know? You can have like a cool hilt. Shiny blade in it. Your theory is that the ultimate weapon would have destroyed the world. But Surge stood in the epicenter of the blast. But Lieutenant Surge stood in the epicenter of the blast and flexed his muscles and then prevented the explosion, and that's how the crater formed. Came to be. Lieutenant Surge showed his power. That makes sense, and that's the war he was part of. And he's just made it a part of his personality ever since. And I guess the blast made him immortal, like AZ. That makes sense. That makes so much sense. And also, Lieutenant Surge is kind of tall, like AZ. Oh, they're brothers. Clearly that's the secret Pokemon lore that we've been missing. And, I mean, when you think about it, his name is LT Surge? LT? AZ? It all adds up. It all makes sense. It all comes together. Genius. This is the real Pokemon theories we need. Here's the true protagonist of Pokemon. Exactly. I mean, think about how many games he's in. Like, he's got to be in, like, the most games of any Pokemon character. Like, more than, like, Looker. Because he's in Red and Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Black and White 2. That's 8. That's 8 whole games. That's almost like one game for every generation there is. Effervescent. But he got his ass kicked by Nidoking? Yeah, but if Lieutenant Surge himself was fighting the Nidoking, then he would have won. but he fought the Nidoking with Pokemon instead, because he knew otherwise no one would be able to beat his gym. He's just that kind. Alright. He could have just flexed once and Nidoking would explode. Exactly. Exactly that. Alright. You know, I'll just keep that for later and save it. Sorry, I was clipping your comment for no reason in particular. As in the theory. Oh wait, no, I need to clip more. Shit. Let me try that again. I only clipped the top comment. It will make a good clip. You'll be credited with this great theory. I mean, people love Pokemon theories, so they'll eat this up, right? And it's not like it's the most outlandish Pokemon theory out there. I don't know, I feel like sometimes people look way too much into things that are just obvious, you know? Like... So, for a little bit more context, I got into Kerbal Space Program recently. I got a bit distracted by D&D, so I haven't been, like, playing it as much lately, but I've been watching a few videos of other people playing it, because I like seeing the rockets that people make. And a video came into my feed about the second game, and the lore that was in it. And there are, like, a few statues around of guys that look like Kerbals, but aren't quite. And, the guy was like, oh, this one clearly isn't, like, anything we've seen before, because he's bigger and has slits for eyes instead of dots. And I think he was just kind of meant to be like a Buddha Kerbal, you know? Looking happy. And being a bit chubby. And he was like, clearly this is a new species. It's like, no. No. I don't think that's right at all. And I feel like there are many examples of it in Pokemon as well. What was it? I'm not sure if it was the Volo time traveler theory or another one that, like, someone just used such ridiculous evidence to prove, and it's like, no. Like, I appreciate the fact that you must clearly have some back pain, and you're using this opportunity to stretch and help sort it out, but boy is it a stretch. I don't know, my theory is just that, like, my theory is obviously Bolo and Kogita are both ancestors of Cynthia because they hook up after the game. Obviously. I think it's confirmed that Kogita's, like, quite old as well, which is interesting. Shipping indeed. Because, like, Kogita's... Doesn't she imply that, like, Enamorus will come back to her after you die? Like, I wonder if she's still around in, technically around in, like, Platinum. Or if she passed away at some point within those, like, within the time in between the games. I don't know, my current theory is, like, Kogita and Volo are related, but they've never had, like, actually encountered each other before. Like, maybe Kogita is straight up Volo's mother, or his grandmother, and at some point, a long time, they cut contact. When I say some point a long time, I probably should clarify. Either she abandoned him as a baby, and he grew up without her, or maybe, like, she and her child ended up losing contact for whatever reason. Volo was born her grandson, but, like, because she didn't have contact with her child anymore, she didn't have contact with Volo either. Like, I feel like those are the things that make sense, that aren't immediately jumping to Volo being a time traveler. Which I'd say there isn't much evidence for, all things considered. Or at least, like, solid evidence. Undeniable, undisputable proof. Because you can probably point to a few things to say, like, oh, Volo's clearly a time traveler. But, like, I feel like there are other ways he could have gotten that information, or those things came to pass. Volo reincarnates as Cyrus, exactly. I'm interested to see how future things are gonna go. Like, Legends games are gonna go. Because I hope they do make future Legends games to start off with. I feel like they probably are gonna. But, do you think they're gonna continue with, like, the whole... Do you think they're gonna continue with, like, this whole, like, attempt to bait and switch us? Because, like, it's clear that they, they made Silene as, like, a good guy. And then Professor Rowan's ancestor and Cynthia's ancestor were both bad guys, antagonists at points of the plot. To be honest, I hope he does, as she wants something, more Ultra boss fights. I didn't mean Volo returning, I more meant, like... shit, like, someone made that, like, Legends Celebi trailer, and they had it so that Red was the villain. Like, an ancestor of Red was the villain of the game. But, like... I feel like that'd be predictable at this point, you know? Like, it'd be predictable that, like, Giovanni's ancestor's the good guy. And whatnot. Died because Sturdy Geodude used Magnitude 10 5 times in a row? What are even the odds of that? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'd be interesting if they made, like, a gym leader ancestor the villain next time or something. Like, a more minor character in, like, the original games. Like, taking more of, like, a pivotal role. I think that would be fun. But yeah, the final Volo fight was fun. I wouldn't mind if they, like, reverted to a more conventional battle style in the future, though. Because although I do like the strong and agile thing, how do I put this? I'd be happy if it were a one-time thing. It was clearly a system... It's clearly a system made for the alpha Pokemon, and the idea of fighting one Pokemon, rather than a team of Pokemon like Volo is. And I think that's one of the reasons his boss fight is so hard, because it's not really a system made for trainer battles, it's a system made for one-on-ones. Well, not one-on-ones, but like, your team versus an extremely powerful Pokemon. Like the Alphas. And if it is a Johto one, then Price is a kid as he's ancient. That is a fair point. What ancestors are you guys looking forward to seeing in general? Are there any ancestors you're particularly eager to see pop up at any point? Because I'm looking forward to seeing what like N's ancestors like. Because I think that'll be a cool one. See if it's like genetic that he can talk to Pokemon or not. Flygon. I more meant like people like in Legends Arceus than Paradox forms. Mr. Pokemon. That's a fair one. I wonder how they'd do that. I wonder how it would be obvious that it was a Mr. Pokemon ancestor. In considering I don't think he's got a unique sprite, does he? Oh, that's true though, like Bill. Bill would be a cool one. And Bill being like one of the very few PC creators with like... Bill is like the only like PC guy who has a unique face. Beeb is just the karate girl sprite in like Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. She's got a bit of a different sprite in BDSP, with model in BDSP. Pretty sure Fennel doesn't have a unique model. But she's not even the PC maker, it's Lanita, who just uses the schoolgirl model. Can't remember who it is in Hoenn, but I don't think they have a unique model. And then I'm pretty sure, like, after that, they didn't have unique PC makers anymore. In fact, I think in the few occasions they did have unique PC makers, they were just regular models. I think in X and Y it was just a regular guy as well. He's got a hat. That's a good point, actually. I didn't consider that. Oak's ancestor is going to be an interesting one as well. Now that I think on it. But I guess we'll probably see most of the professors eventually. Lynette? As in the black and white PC maker. Because I think that's her? Oh no! Hoenn. Right, yeah. I think it's Lanita for black and white. Alita? Battle Angel? I don't know. I can't remember them because Bill's the only memorable one, because Bill's the only one who does anything actually interesting, instead of just sitting there and being like, I made the PC. Although, to be fair, Beeb does give you an Eevee in Platinum, which makes her a little bit more memorable than, like, any of the others, other than Bill, who also gives you an Eevee in Johto. That's one of the things I like about Johto, is the amount of, like, gift Pokemon. Like, that's one of the things I, like, kind of miss. Is, like, just gift Pokemon, you know? Like, I get that, like, especially nowadays... Was Lynette, you were right? Yo. It did sound right. It did sound familiar. But, Like, nowadays, like, it feels like you're meant to catch them all. Like, that's, like, the heavy emphasis, is you're meant to catch all the Pokemon. At least in, like, Scarlet Violet Legends Arceus. But, like, I like games that have a lot of gift Pokemon because they're fun, you know? It's, like, fun to be like, yeah, you get given a bunch of Pokemon at points. And, like, yeah, Johto is probably the best one of this, because Johto's got so many, especially counting, like, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. What did you get? You get Eevee from Bell, Kenya the Spearow, Tentacool, if you don't have any surfing Pokemon in your PC or your party. Shuckle, Dratini, ugh. I mean, technically you get one of the Hoenn starters from Steven as well, which is a gift, all things considered. I think that might be it, unless anybody... I mean, arguably, if you wanted to, like, make it a stretch, the legendaries from Arceus, the legendary eggs, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, the level 1s. Well, I'm not sure how much I'd count that. Ugh. Because it's like an event and all. And a hard to get event at that. With a bunch of nice stock images. Who doesn't love some good stock images? But yeah, I like gift Pokemon. I think they're fun. And it's a shame that the franchise doesn't really do them as much anymore. And I truly would be very on board if it did start doing them again. Like, especially just, like, Eevee in Gen 1. It's just, like, a Pokeball lying on a table, right? Like, you don't even talk to someone for that Eevee. You just steal it. Which is kind of whack. I don't know, that's like one of the things with like later Pokemon games. Especially with the focus on catching Pokemon being like a lot more front and center. Like, do you get given an Eevee egg in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon? But you can find Eevee in the route immediately south of that area. Hell, you can find Eevee before that point in the game as well. Which means that the Eevee egg isn't really that important in the grand scheme of things. Because you can get one closer to your level at any point. At any point you want. But like, you get given a free Toxel in the Daycare and Sword and Shield, but you can find one later. Like, so even when there are gift Pokemon, they feel a lot more useless. Because you could just catch your own, and there'd be a more competent level for, like, your team at that point. I don't know, I just find it a shame. I like getting gifted rare Pokemon to use. Because it makes them feel special, you know? It makes them feel actually special to use. Instead of just being like a Pokemon that anyone could have caught. It's like a Pokemon that you were gifted. But no, I guess that's not the dub anymore. Which is a shame. You hate Magnitude? Valid. It is a very weird move. I don't know, I kind of like it. I think it's fun. Although, obviously, like, there are better options. Sorry, I'm doing the thing where I fiddle with my dice again. I need to put them out of reach. It wiped your team? Oh, shit. Well, I guess that won't be an issue after you get Charizard. Right. Oh, shit. When you yawn. I'm gonna take a drink quickly. Five magnitude 10 in a row? What is your luck? Or I guess, unluck. By the sounds of it. Alright. Oh, that was a good stretch, actually. 10 out of 10 stretch. Would stretch again. Yeah, sorry, I'm still a bit pooped from clock changing. Still kind of tired from that, so who knows, maybe stream will be a little shorter today to account for that. I don't really get the point of daylight savings anymore. Like, it just feels like an old thing that we always used to do, so we're still doing it, you know? But, like, at this point, it's more of, like, a nuisance than anything else, you know? Like, is there really any point to keep it around at this point? Just feels like one of those things that, like, we used to have it, so we still have it, you know? But always round, it's just kind of awkward, because... I mean, like Rob said, that made him an hour late for work. If daylight savings wasn't a thing, then that wouldn't have happened. And I'm pretty sure I've seen studies. I'm not even guessing. I've seen studies of what's it called? That show like productivity drops over daylight savings. Because it just makes everybody, like, tired and discombobulated. Because they're forcing their body clock to change for no reason. That's not even considering, like, animals and stuff, you know? Like, animals don't know the time. So, like, all of a sudden you're feeding your cat an hour later. I don't know, my cat's good enough at, like, modulating the amount of intake, the amount of food she eats. So we just generally fill her bowl up when it's empty, but... for people who don't do that... for people whose cats, like, need to eat at specific times... I wonder if you can get those, like, automatic cat feeders for fish tanks. I guess you must be able to, right? But it makes sense. It's like automatic fish tank feeders. I was just thinking, like, because, like, right now we've only got the cat, but then Dad's fish. So, like, if we were to automate feeding them, the cat would be easy. But, like, could we do that to the fish as well? Yeah, you can automate just about anything these days. That's a fair point. It's like automatic cat litter changes. Electric scooters. Hell, we've even got automatic day stealers. As in phones. You click on the wrong app, and it's an hour later. Basically, time warp button. Look deep into the stimulation brick, and you will warp forward in time. Clicking on, like, any social media app should, like, have a pop-up of, like, how far into the future do you want to travel? I mean, in your case, you could probably do it based on weight. So in the bowl is 0 gram filled to 300 gram. I mean, for the cat, yeah. But for the fish, I don't think fish flakes are weighed in a bowl. It'd be funny if they were, but I mean, I guess technically you could automate like your fish feeding by making it like an ecosystem in there. A self-sustaining system. Which would be interesting. I don't know, yeah. My terrarium, I think... I don't think the ants are in it anymore. As in, I think they're dead. Like, it's starting to get well into spring, and I've not seen an ant yet. So I'm guessing they did not last the winter for whatever reason. Which is a shame, but... oh well. It's what it is. It probably would have been a bad idea anyway, to be blunt. But it's also a shame because the centipede that was always around in there has seemingly disappeared. Probably because it's died. So that's kind of sad. I don't know, if, like, we get into, like, summertime, maybe I'll restart it. And, like, activity in it, like, slows too much, I'll restart it. But I guess I'll have to see. Wait and see. Alright. Alright. I think one of the things about the way the internet's currently structured in this, like, short-form content, creates for, like, interesting scenarios in which you kind of, like, catch a glimpse into, like, one part of a series that you've never seen before. Of, like, someone doing something or other. Like, that one guy who ordered dark web gnomes to his house to, like, terrorize him. Or, one I saw recently, which was a video about a guy... He was saying he was spending his last day with his chicks. So clearly he'd bought chickens at some point, like baby chickens at some point. But they weren't going to make it to the end of the day for some reason. I didn't really know why. I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. I wonder what happened. So I went into the comments, as you do. And everybody in it was blasting him for apparently caring for his chicks really fucking badly. Just doing a really bad job at raising them. I don't know what this guy did, but people were mad at him. They were not happy. Like, clearly, he shouldn't be owning chicks. But I just found it interesting because, like, this is the first time I saw anything from this guy. And it was just, like, a video about, like, his last day with his chicks, and people were just being like, yeah, it's because you don't know how to raise them. You did no research. You clearly did not put enough effort into this. You're now reaping what you've sowed. And, like, it's just quite interesting that, like, stuff like that. I guess it could always happen, because, like, even back in the day, YouTube was kind of focused on series and stuff, long-form series and stuff. So, like, you could end up jumping onto, like, some train, like, halfway through. But especially since it's now a lot shorter, it's a lot easier to do, you know? Like, you can more easily watch Part 8 of a series, because Part 8 of a series is about 15 seconds long, because if it's any longer, then audience retention will drop off massively. So you can just catch a glimpse into just random stories. It is an interesting pivot with, like, on the YouTube side of things, though, where, like, series are so much rarer now. Like, generally, even if you do see a series, like an on-running series of someone's, it'll be, like, a very standalone video, you know? Which is, like, a massive far cry from, like, the Let's Plays of the past, where, like, almost every video was a part, like, 87 of someone Let's Playing, like, the new popular game. Like, it was extremely common for videos to just be, like, later parts of series. But nowadays, there seems to be, like, much more of an effort made to keep videos completely self-contained. Where, sure, you can watch a video and it'll be part of a series that you can then continue to watch after that. But, all in all, the average video on the platform nowadays is just a new standalone video. Well, if I do watch Let's Plays and stuff, you tend to watch them from the beginning. Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, I think a lot of people do that, but to more of a degree, people don't anymore. If that makes sense. People aren't willing to watch a Let's Play from the beginning, which means they're more likely to skip out on the Let's Play entirely. Which is also kind of why I don't label my series as, like, Part 8. Because then people might be like, well, I've not seen the previous part, so I shouldn't join, you know? But anyway, I just feel like Let's Play content has less of a place on YouTube now than like it used to back in its heyday. I just find that interesting. Like, generally, the average, like, video about someone playing a game nowadays is like a live stream clip. And it's a 50-minute clip of the live stream. No, it's a 50-minute, like, video of, like, the highlights of the stream, instead of necessarily staying with them for the whole journey. Because if you wanted to stay with them for the whole journey, you would assumably be just watching them stream it. And I find that interesting. Like, I guess I hadn't thought of it like that, but I guess, yeah. Streaming kind of did kill Let's Plays. Well, not kill, but you know what I mean. Had a drastic effect on Let's Plays. Which is just interesting. Kind of makes you wonder what's going to come next, you know? Because clearly content's going to evolve again. But what's it going to evolve into? Put dice down, I'm getting distracted. I just started examining my dice way too hard and was like, ah, shit, I zoned myself out. Dice away. I should put them back where, like, I used to keep them. Because then I didn't always fiddle with them. I just realized I shook the mice right next to the microphone. Dice right next to the microphone. I hope you enjoyed that. You probably didn't. And that's understandable. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if short-form content kind of takes priority. That's somewhat disappointing, as you usually stick on a Nuzlocke or something while you work. Yeah, no, that's fair. And there's definitely still content like that out there. But it feels like nowadays, people aren't as interested in the Nuzlocke anymore, you know? Like, I feel like in general, people only care about a Nuzlocke if they care about the person doing the Nuzlocke, if that makes sense. At least that's what I've been perceiving as of late. That's how it's been looking. Like, if you want to get people to watch your Nuzlocke video, you've got to do an interesting Nuzlocke. Like, you've got to have some kind of gimmick or something that'll make people be like, oh, what's that about? And if not, like, it'll just be like the big people at the time when they make a Nuzlocke video, that'll pop off. Like Jaden Animations or AlphaRad. Like, that's kind of the only Nuzlocke content that I see doing well nowadays. And that Nuzlocke content is, like, made to just be a narrative of the whole series. Rather than just actual recordings of it. It's a scripted video to, like, narrate what happened during the course of this adventure. Rather than you watching the adventure unfold. I feel like, no, there are still people doing it, obviously, because, like, I'm doing it, and I definitely know I'm not doing it alone. But I feel like it's mostly smaller creators nowadays. I watch Pat, GBL, United Gamer, stuff like that. Oh, Gamebot Luke. Does Pat just still do series? Because I know he streams, but most of the stuff I see him put out are just, like, long videos about, like, the Nuzlocke series. Or, like, the challenge run he did. Rather than just, like, his old content. Because I'm not sure if he'd pivoted before then. But I remember that one time that he got roasted by AlphaRad. Being like, which would you rather click on? This thumbnail, and it was like a Jaden Animations, my first Nuzlocke. And then it was like one of Patterrz thumbnails, which was like Alpha Sapphire Extreme Randomizer Part 38. With like a Raikou in the thumbnail. And like after that it felt like he was doing a lot less of that kind of stuff. I think he's got an Elec only Nuzlocke. Ah, okay, cool. But yeah, I've not watched Patterrz in a while, actually. Who knows, maybe I'm just talking out my arse, and I only think this because of YouTube recommendations, the algorithm. But I feel like overall, like, the Pokemon YouTubers that are big at the moment, which is like AlphaRad, Jaden Animations, Pokemon Challenges and stuff, they tend to kind of like condense the whole series into like a one video. It's interesting though, because this is definitely some of the biggest Pokemon's been, and I definitely feel like it's because of the Switch. Because it lets anybody make Pokemon videos, basically. Like current Pokemon videos. Anyone can stream Scarlet and Violet nowadays, because you just need to get like a capture card, which can be like 30 quid. AlphaRad is not a Pokemon YouTuber. He's not, but he is. Like, it's How do I put this? He doesn't just make Pokemon content, but it's very clear that Pokemon's like the thing that he knows brings in the views. So he does a lot of Pokemon videos. I'm gonna look Alphared up because I'm certain that his channel is like gonna be mostly Mario Party and Pokemon. Like as of late. Okay, so we got in his last 8 videos, which I think is like most of this year, is him helping, I can't remember his name, what's his name? Oopsie. Him helping another streamer do their first Nuzlocke, Mario Party, the 6-man Nuzlocke, modded Sonic Frontiers, Mario Odyssey, Best of, and then Scarlet and Violet video. Like, that's 3, and then all the others aren't really like a consistent thing, you know? Also like an update video. Like, he does general content, but like, Pokemon's something he always comes back to. So, while he's not completely a Pokemon YouTuber, I'd still put him in that category. Especially since it's just something he's known for, you know? Like, he's kind of in that pocket of, like, him, Point Crow, and Smallant, where, like, they all have Pokemon content, and they do a lot of Pokemon content, to the point where people go to them for their Pokemon content. But it's not just Pokemon content they make. So it's like a pseudo-PokeTuber. But yeah, that's my 1-2 take. There's no shame in it or anything. Probably good for them to like do variety. Because Pokemon alone isn't going to be enough to rake in like that many viewers, but I mean, I'm not going to be doing Pokemon alone forever, I've already mentioned. At some point I will stop just doing Pokemon streams. I'll probably stick, like, to Nintendo-y stuff. I know I want to do Professor Layton, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, and Spore? I want to do Spore at some point. But that's not going to be for a while. It'll be when I'm, like, not sure what else to do with Pokemon that I do that. And I can see that taking a while. There are a lot of fan games and Nuzlocke ideas and stuff. Anyway. I mean, I guess I don't only do Pokemon at the moment anyway, because of Mario Kart. But I feel like that's a smaller part of my content, you know? It's just a fun event thing to do. Yeah, I wish I could have done more Pokemon back when you made videos. But you're working on consoles without emulation as your PC was hot garbage. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's just one of the nice things about the Pokemon being on the Switch now. It's just the fact that if you can't emulate, you can still stream Pokemon. Which really removed the barrier of entry that was kind of there for Pokemon content creation before then. Where, like, either you had to have a good enough PC to, like, emulate most games, or have some kind of, like, scuffed-ass setup of filming your DS screen. Whereas nowadays, again, capture card, 20 quid. Well, not 20 quid. I can't remember how much mine was. I think it was under 40, though. I think the only one you did was a Coliseum Nuzlocke. That's fun. I don't know, I might play Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness at some point on this channel, because I've not actually played them before. I wanted to, but I couldn't run legitimate means. I didn't have legitimate means to do it. No, I definitely didn't try running Pokemon Coliseum on a Dolphin emulator. To be fair, it also was a legitimate means thing, because I saw Pokemon Coliseum at Sex. Sex was selling Pokemon Coliseum, and I was like, oh. But then I found out you need a whole setup to play GameCube games on the Wii. You need the GameCube controllers, and you need a special memory card thing for GameCube games. So I could not, unfortunately. But I did want to, because Coliseum looks really cool. So I think I will play it at some point. Alright. It's fun. Tricky at times, but fun. Yeah, I've heard. I don't know, I just remember that one Tamahiro video on it that tore into it as a game. Which was interesting. But yeah. I still kind of want to play it. Because, it looks at least as a one-time thing, an interesting thing to do, you know? Not like I'm going to go to complete it. Phew, still caught everything. But if they die, dead for good. Ah, yeah, fair. I mean, you get limited amounts of Pokemon anyway, don't you? So there's no need to limit it on the Nuzlocke rules. Because the Nuzlocke catch first Pokemon in every route, I guess is less... Well, I guess the point is, kind of less to stop using your favorite Pokemon and more to make sure you're not using too many Pokemon, you know? Because obviously if you just had an unlimited Nuzlocke, you could fill up your box with infinite fodder. Yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Papa the Entei, oh no. It's interesting how prevalent the legendary beasts are in, games. Especially Gen 3 and 4. I guess they aren't really anymore now that I think about it. But, there was, a period of time when, the legendary beasts were all the rage, you know? What do we have? What's it called? Brain. Okay, so yeah, obviously they are interested in Gold and Silver. Suicune was the box art, legendary of Crystal, even though it wasn't, a big legendary. The legendary dogs were roaming encounters in Fire and Leaf Green, if I'm not mistaken. They played a prevalent role in Pokemon Ranger. They played a prevalent role in Pokemon Coliseum. They played a prevalent role in Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. They were in Heart Gold Soul Silver again. They played a big role in the... What's it called? In the Zoroark movie. I think you got one of them. Yeah, no, it was based on starters, right? Kind of like X and Y. But yeah, like, they were just everywhere for a bit. Which I guess is fair, because they are pretty popular as, like, a legendary trio. It's interesting because Walking Wake and Iron Leaves seem to be just kind of on par with the other Paradox Pokemon. But would you guys like to see... It seems they're, like, filling out some trios into quadrios recently. Would you guys like to see... Into more than quadrios? Into more than... They're adding more legendaries to pre-established groups. Would you like to see another legendary dog? Or would you rather see, like, a different kind of variant of legendary dog than is already being presented by Scarlet and Violet? I don't know, because it feels like... What's it called? I don't think the legendary beasts are... Here, very time urgent. Do you want to see Cocaine Bear tomorrow at 7:50 PM, right? This is PM, yeah? Yes, okay, thank God. Are you paying for tickets? Sure, anything for you, buddy. Okay, yeah, I'm down. Send me, where? On Discord. Instead of in stream chat, please. Think it'd be interesting, but I took Ho as the 4th Legend of the Beast and Lugia as the 4th bird. That's fair, but I'm not really sure they are, you know? In, like, my head. Well, I hope you enjoy the film. So do I. Can't wait for the Cocaine Bear cinematic universe. with such amazing films as Weed Wolf and Heroin Lion. Alright. You do really want to go and see John Wick 4. That's fair, I've heard it's good. Alright, I'm just gonna do it quickly. Yeah, no, I've heard like a lot of good things about it. Back from eating? Welcome back from eating. I hope you had good dinner. Wait till your dad's come back from Scotland. Ah, understandable. Well, I hope you enjoy it when you see it. I don't know, I always find the fun bit of trivia funny where... What's it called? Keanu Reeves kept on calling the film John Wick when that wasn't its name. Wait, okay, I can probably get it from just Google search, can't I? What was John Wick originally called? John Wick was originally going to be called Scorn. So just like another generic one-word aggressive, like one aggressive word film. You know the beat. You know the dub. But Keanu Reeves, in all the interviews, kept on saying that it was John Wick. It was called John Wick. Because he remembered the name. Like, this probably wasn't an intentional choice on his part. It's just he could remember his character's name, but not necessarily the actual name of the film, because it was just a very generic name. But he, like, him calling it John Wick made the producers go, fuck it, we'll just call it John Wick. And I just find that funny. Also good. Because films with just, like, generic, like, one-word titles. I don't know, I feel like we can get better than that. I feel like it's, like, it's not in the sweet spot of, like, makes you ask questions about what the film's gonna be. Like, for example, Scorn. What's that about? Who fucking knows? Probably some angry guy with a gun. Which I guess it is, but... John Wick makes you think, who's John Wick? Cocaine Bear makes you think, what? What? You know? Alright, I think we'll go to 1690. And then I'll end stream. If that sounds good with you all. Alright. I don't know why I said it like that. I'll go to 1690, then I'll end, because I'm getting tired. You know how it is. But yeah, productive stream in the fact that we've gotten another 1,000 or so encounters, 1,100 or so encounters, but whatever it is, probably better than Shazam 2. I mean, like, probably, but I get a hunch. I get a feeling from the trailers that Shazam 2 just isn't quite a film that I'm the target audience for. Like, I just get the vibe from that film that, you know, it's not necessarily meant. It's about a bear who gets into cocaine stash and attacks a small rural town. I mean, I could assume the first bit. I didn't know the second part, and I was expecting to go into it not knowing. But I was more making a bit. But it's fine. Now it's been spoiled. I guess I'll just go into it cynically. It's so fucking dumb. Are you not on board with this, Kite? Are you not seeing Cocaine Bear with this? Is that what's happening? Shazam just didn't seem interesting. I mean, yeah, but to be fair, I feel like no superhero movies seem interesting anymore. Like, I'll see a superhero movie if it's like a superhero I already care about, you know? Like, if it's a continuation on a story that I've already become invested in. At this point, if it's not like if it's a new superhero, I'm probably not gonna care. You're going to see it. You paid your dues. You're apprehensive at best. Valid. I'm going to see it, because it sounds like a fun time, and I do like hanging out with my friends. I put like a thumbs up to the camera, forgetting that that's not like a visible thing. Yeah, you too. Fell off the MCU after Doctor Strange. I really like Doctor Strange, and I feel like I'm in the minority for that. I thought it was good. I enjoyed the part where he just like possessed the zombified corpse of another version of himself. Like, that was fun. Like, I like Doctor Strange less. Now I know how bad, like, now I know Benedict Cumberbatch is like that. But I still found it kind of fun. Same with Thor Love and Thunder. But, like, it's just, like, investing myself in new superheroes when there are, like, 50 of them I have to keep track of, you know? Like, what's an Eternals? And why should I be invested in it? Like, I'm interested to see how James Gunn's DCEU is going to pan out, due to the fact that people just... Like, the cinematic universe has only worked for Marvel so far. You know? Like, people keep trying to replicate the success of Marvel, but only Marvel have had a successful cinematic universe at this point. The next arguable thing is Star Wars, because it's had a few successful films outside of, like, the main movie. But, like, even then, it doesn't feel like that's a cinematic universe. It just feels like that's, like, you know, in the Star Wars canon. Which I guess is a cinematic universe. But they don't do it as much either. And they're not, like, constantly making new things. It's just... but yeah, that is our... I just realized we got 69 in the thing, that's the funniest... Anyway, you found a Growlithe? Hell yeah. But yeah, I'm going to end off for that. I hope you've all had a great time. I certainly have. And I will see you all on Wednesday at 7:30 PM, after I've seen Cocaine Bear, apparently, where I will be playing more Pokemon Sweet. I hope you've all had a great time. I certainly have. And I will see you all on Wednesday. You think superhero films are kind of dead now? Like, they're just the same and not doing any new stuff. Yeah, no, exactly. There are, like, a few... Like, the Batman was pretty good, but yeah. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Goodbye and good night.